Guys, it's your M.K.S back here again with another video, part 3 obviously of my ideas, dreams, goals, that sort of thing for Celtic. Hope you checked out parts 1 and 2 and enjoyed them. If not, please check them out and hopefully you'll give them likes, and please comment whatever your thoughts are, and hopefully you'll be positive. Hopefully you'll enjoy it, as I say, and hopefully you'll leave some positive comments. Any constructive criticism is welcome as well, and yeah, I can't think of much else to say, so here goes. So yeah, carrying on, as I say, from parts 1 and 2. This is a continuation of my ideas. So here goes. So 21. I'd love for people around the world to find out about the history of Celtic Football Club, how it's founded as a charity for the Irish immigrants, mainly Irish Catholic immigrants in Glasgow who were struggling, and Brother Walford made this a football club as a charity, as I say, and it started off as a charity, and it's sort of continued as a charity in a way. And I'd love for people to learn about that history and how it was for the oppressed Irish immigrants. I'd love for as many Irish people as possible to support Celtic, and like buying the kits and merchandise hopefully will go into the club, but I hope the club will invest that money wisely, as I've talked about before. And just to recap some of my other ideas, what I'm talking about, I'd love for Celtic to work with the S.N.P, Scottish National Party. I'm sure most people would have heard about them, but yeah, Scottish National Party and possibly other independence parties like Plaid Cymru, or how we pronounce it, and Sinn Féin, and Irish parties and other parties around the world, and like talking about the charity they do, and maybe work with Celtic to work with other charities and N.G.O.s and that sort of thing. Number 22, I hope for Celtic to look to the future again, have like 5 to 10 year plans and look at what can be learned again, as I said before, like from other clubs or from other sports and businesses and whatnot. Obviously, as I said before, like football is a business, so hopefully looking at how to take Celtic into the future again, like look at how to market and brand, and looking at what ways Celtic can make more money, and obviously reinvest that into the club again, into buying new players, into investing in youth. And hopefully also the club will grow financially, but also use that money for good, like for charity and things like that, which would be really good. And on that note, number 23, again, I'd love the club to do as many football or soccer, we're going to call it, fundraising events, maybe be part of Soccer Aid and things like that, and charities around the world, again, work with governments, politicians, N.G.O.s, charities, other businesses, because I suppose a football club is a business technically, so Celtic is kind of like a club, a football club and a business, I suppose, a charity and a business, sorry. And I'd love for Celtic, this is one of my really dreamy ideas, I'd love for Celtic to become, I know I've been mocked for quite a lot of these eccentric ideas of mine, but I think I'd rather try and share it and see what people think rather than not share it, or risk of being ridiculed, sorry. But I love for Celtic to be, as it does so much for charity, I love for Celtic to be tax exempt, or to pay as little tax as possible, because I think that a lot of tax money is used for things like wars or things that I don't agree with personally, and I wouldn't want Celtic to agree with, as I'm a fan of theirs, and also things like the royal family and things like that. So I'd love for Celtic to be able to keep as much money as possible, not have to pay taxes, or alternatively get money from the lottery that and from other sources like governmental sources, funding, which would counterbalance any taxes that we pay as a club. Again, I say we as a fan, and that money instead, if the club keeps that money, obviously it can use it for good anyway. It could use it for that money could be used. So instead of paying income tax, which goes to the government, it could be spent on wars, weapons trade, on negative things, arguably, or the royal family or things like that, which I don't agree with personally. It could be the money. Bear in mind, I'm talking about my dreams here, but it could be that money would be Celtic would be allowed to keep that money and invest in local Glaswegian footballers, or so basically keep people out of trouble, so it can cut crime, make people more healthy, discourage them from drinking too much or getting involved in trouble with the law, and instead get them involved in playing football and do charitable schemes locally with local people from Glasgow. Maybe even work with boxing academies or other sports as well, to engage children in sports, young people in sports, teenagers and all that, so they stay out of trouble with law. And so hopefully that money would be used for good. So in that case, it could be argued that instead of paying income tax, it would be used for that. Or alternatively, like, and probably even on top of that, even actually, I would love to see Celtic get money from lottery, local governments, maybe even the UK government itself, and things like that, as much sources as possible, which you could use for charity as well as hopefully mutually benefiting the club. And if I could, I'd love to fundraise for Celtic as much as possible. Because I'm an anti-imperialist, I'm not much of a monarchist. I'm a Republican, supporter, pro-Republic. So for me personally, that would be a dilemma to like fundraise for Celtic if they had to pay taxes, income taxes, to things that I don't agree with. So I'd love to lobby for Celtic, and I'd love my fellow Celtic fans to lobby for Celtic not to have to pay income tax or things like that. So hopefully, if they could use that money to invest in local youth, it would be beneficial to the local area and to Glasgow and Scotland generally, and also to the club itself as well. So it'd be mutually beneficial. It wouldn't just benefit the club, it'd benefit the local area as well, or as much as Glasgow as possible, like cutting crime again. And people from all over Glasgow or even other parts of Scotland could perhaps go to Glasgow and the football grounds, or maybe even build more academies outside of Glasgow as well, but mainly in Glasgow, because it's quite a deprived area. Anyway, moving on, because I don't want to be too long with each individual point. So number 24, I'd love, as I said before, like for all the countries that were colonised by the UK, as many countries from Africa, Asia, obviously Ireland itself, and all sorts of countries to support Celtic as much as possible. Number 25, again, I love people from republics to support Celtic. Sorry, I said again as if I've mentioned that point before, but yeah, I'd love for people from republics to support Celtic, because Rangers are like they're pro-royals and pro-military and all that sort of stuff. So people who are not into those sorts of things, I think, should support Celtic, in my opinion. So yeah, so as many people from republics, and also anti-imperialists, and also pacifists, conscientious objectors and people like that to support Celtic. 26, I'd love Celtic in turn to support countries that are colonised and be anti-imperialists as a club, like encourage anti-imperialism and supporting those countries that are colonised, especially Ireland and other places I've talked about. Number 27, I'd love for Celtic to have like a list. I know it kind of already does have a list of its top sponsors and supporters, but I think hopefully that list will grow, and to have like awards and reward ceremonies which talk about, or award ceremonies which talk about what clubs or what companies or sponsors or whatever have supported Celtic, so we can like reward them and acknowledge what they've done for the club, so that hopefully Celtic fans could reward those. But it would encourage more people to want to invest in Celtic and sponsor Celtic, because it would be good for their PR as well. Number 28, hopefully the club will continue to improve its image as much as possible, and like make changes, positive changes, like from the struggles that the club's going through. Hopefully next season will come back much stronger, and these experiences hopefully will make the club improve as much as possible. Number 29, hopefully I can encourage as many people of colour, and especially my fellow mixed race people, to support Celtic as much as possible. And number 30, hopefully I didn't forget any ideas or miss any, but I'd love to know what you think, as ever. And I think that covers everything for now, and I'm out. Peace and love.